I'm Scott. That is JT. Welcome back to the fold, sir. Down there was also Mr. Dayveonne Boosie, who, props to him, will be hosting a panel at New York Comic Con. And down underneath me, doing his best impersonation of Indiana Jones, and probably a better one than I am doing whatever the fuck this is Mr. Ryan O'Regan. Gentlemen, how you doing? And happy Comic Con.
Somehow I feel underdressed.
Fantastically well.
And that's the end of that. And that's the end of the cost. Dude, you would never make it in Times Square.
We have the picture. We'll have it for later. But
okay. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. So basically, okay. So we're dropping this already. All right. Well, fuck it. It's not Halloween yet. All right. Fine. So, all right. So anyway, you guys. I hope you guys are doing awesome out there. Welcome to all the new subs. Welcome to all the new people out there. We got a bunch of stuff we're talking about today. Comic-Con will definitely be part of it because that's coming up in a couple of days. Like I said, Dayveonne is going to be hosting a panel, so we're going to be promoting the crap out of that one. Kudos to you, sir. We will also be talking about the debunked Disney Dragon Ball New Journey, which is debunked. But my question is, for how long? I do have a Tales from the Film set for you guys, which I'm going to be talking about. That centers around really making a 75-year-old man with scoliosis suffer. Really kind of a sad thing. And also, additionally, obviously, Hugh Jackman is coming back. His bromance with Deadpool actor Ryan Reynolds is in this. So it's a big crossover on that. We've been waiting for that. D, go for it, sir.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, I will be at New York Comic Con for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, I will be hosting a Futurist Black panel at 9:15 p.m. to 10:15 p.m. Come out and support. But if you want to regularly see me round and about, don't be so quick. Say hello, take a picture. I'm definitely gonna be giving these guys some footage of Comic-Con. I'm gonna do some live streams, video, and JD is gonna basically focus his camera. And maybe JT be there.
Maybe, but probably not.
It's my anniversary on Friday, so I probably can't go to Comic-Con really at all. So
the last time I tried to go to New York Comic-Con, which I think is almost 10 years ago now, that was when they finally started hitting like crowds around 100 to 150,000. Has COVID kind of cut that off a little bit, or is it still way packed over there?
All right, so I've been
more and more.
No, last year I would say during the pandemic, like we were still there, it wasn't that much of a huge crowd, like it was. It was really comfortable. Saturday was shockingly comfortable.
That will not be the case this year. I can almost assure you.
Was anyone there in the early days, like the early 2000s, where it's like it was a small little affair? You had some stars there. Like I remember one year the cast of Hellboy 2 was there, but you could walk around, you could do things. You had some elbow space,
right?
Like Jacob Javits is giant. Like any convention I've ever seen there usually has to only take up a small section, because there's no way to fill it. And Comic-Con fills it. And it amazes me.
And I have to agree with JT. It fills it. They fill it to the max.
They are estimating that they're going to pull in $100 million to the city of New York this weekend. $100 million for 4 days. Yeah, dude. I read that the other day. I'm surprised, but not. Because on one hand, it's like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. On the other hand, it's like, holy shit, it's a really big event because geek is chic now. You know, JT, you were talking about this. I remember an era where I used to go to sci-fi conventions and get the shit kicked out of me for going to them when people found out. You know, I got into anime 30 years ago this month, and I remember it full well. And basically nobody at my school was into anime. And I got trolled by 8th graders, well, a 12th grader, by the way, you know, because of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally a store called Think Geek.
Shut up.
You know, and it's funny because you look at basically how big this thing has become, you know, and obviously cosplay is such a huge part of it. And there's so much money in it that I think, to me personally, it's lost a little bit of its panache because I've lost my eccentricity. There you go. Uniqueness.
Eccentricity.
Thank you. Yeah, me not speak mouth good word talkness. It makes me lose a little bit of my personal identity. So 30 years ago, when I was into comic books and anime, and all this kind of stuff, nobody was. 30 years ago, we just had Batman the Animated Series and X-Men had just come out. I like being part of this little tiny niche group here. Now it's like, if you're not, you're an idiot.
Yeah, it's
kind of harsh.
Yeah,
there's a little bullying going on if you're not into Marvel and DC now.
No, I wouldn't even say bully. It's like a shocker because it's so
Trolling,
mainstream. But you may be like, oh, okay, you never watched a Marvel film? You never watched the DC? No, I never watched it. And you'd be like, okay, I'm not teasing you, but check out this film or check out that film or check out this anime or cartoon and give me your opinion. And then you let them watch it. They're like, oh, I didn't like it. Oh.
Well, see, if you don't
I think that's kind of like where the switch is. Like, if we think about it, like, think back to like the 80s or anything like that. Back when, there was the jocks and the nerds, and, jocks would go ahead and beat up on nerds and stuff like that. And, we had movies like, Lucas, where it's like, someone tried to prove themselves and stuff like that. Now it's kind of more the idea that it's like, oh, you've never seen a Marvel movie, you've never seen a DC movie, you've never read a comic book or anything. You're not really shunned, but Lord knows the right fan will go ahead and try to like immerse you in it, try to introduce you to it. Right. It's not like there were any jocks that were like, come on, you scrawny piece of ish. Let's go ahead and try some football. No one was ever that like, accommodating. Now it's like we just want to go ahead and spread the love and try to be as inclusive as possible with something that we've always been passionate about.
I think,
and what's funny? I see this a lot of times with people that are impassioned about.
Oh, hold on. JT, I see your mouth moving, but I can't hear a thing that you're saying.
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. I don't know
now that you're talking like a Bond villain.
You sound like you're.
So, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Oh, behave.
$1 billion.
So I feel like we moved away from your panel. We should really. So what's this panel about? Can you talk about it a little?
Yeah, let's go back
talk about Afrofuturistic. Afrofuturistic, dealing with African Black culture, using the stigma because we don't have that many representation in comic books, video games. We do have the representation in movies, but not too much in cartoons, video games, and comic books. And we also need those people, people that's artists and stuff to make some good representation of us besides the stereotypes. So it's more of embracing and showing younger adolescents and younger children to basically learn that there can be a Black Superman, there can be a Black Spider-Man. It don't have to be using the whole, oh, I'm Miles Morales Spider-Man. It could be his own original character. Like Static was his own original character as an African-American superhero.
And a great TV show.
Yeah. Afro Samurai, his own anime. Yeah, it was dark, but, like Miles Comics, you had the Sun Man from the Masters of the Universe. These are the things that we're going to be discussing during the panel and saying that we need more representation. We need kids to actually, of not just African Americans, but minorities so they can have a representation.
Are you the only one on the panel, or will there be anyone?
It's going to be the lady that created Sun Man. It's going to be somebody that does Afrofuturistic comics. You're going to have the main moderator, who is Nasi Gifted, who is the guy that runs ChemFest, and I'm the director of the animation aspect of the festival. So he's going to be moderating that. It's going to be a couple of other people that's during this panel. So we're going to basically give insight on how to. It's pretty much saying, look, we need more representation. and we need
And probably more so the fact you don't need to necessarily just make a black Spider-Man or a black Superman. You can be creative and make your own original things.
Correct.
Yeah. You mentioned Afro Samurai, for example, or Static Shock. You know,
correct.
I mean, personally, I liked older Static than I liked younger Static because I was probably too old for young Static. But when old Static on Justice League, that one I liked.
Right.
You know.
Old
with
him with the coat, with the trench coat.
Yes.
Okay.
There was a cool look to that too.
What's the name of the comic book company that actually owns Static? I know there's the association with DC.
Was it Miles? How many panels?
It's a fair number of panels.
I'll find out for you.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like the company that DC bought that had like Static and Icon and Rocket and all those characters? Oh God, there was just a documentary I saw, I think on HBO Max about it too.
It was Miles Comics.
Definitely benefit from some more being introduced to more of the pop culture. I'm like, wow, words failed me today.
Milestone Media.
You and me are both failing on
Milestone. Yes, that was it. Yeah, they're the ones that where you get the Dakota verse from.
Right, but it's like they don't want to introduce them because DC would have to pay more money to use any of those characters. But again, it's like I wish they would introduce more characters from that universe.
Because they had some good characters. I ain't gonna like Spawn, even though it was, Spawn is a black character. You do have. We just need more representation because if you say something about right now, Miles Morales is getting like a lot of popularity, but Static is like he got the popularity from us because we know about Static Shock. We know about, but some of these younger kids, they only know about, Captain America, Falcon.
Yeah, or about War Machine, or Black Panther. I mean, we go back to Black Panther again.
Yeah, I think we've got like Black Adam and Hawkman in the new movie. That's pretty much it. Although
now
Cyclone too.
Would you rather have original characters or Black Spider-Man or Black Superman, for example? Which would you prefer?
I think an original character that can basically generate a popularity. Well, I wouldn't say a Black Spider-Man because to me it feels like you're putting Spider-Man and just have a black guy being Spider-Man.
The only problem that I have, and I've mentioned this before on the show, is the fact that it's easier to retread, with existing characters than come up with original content.
In fairness, man, I'm bad with names, including comic book characters. What? Now I feel really embarrassed. War Machine. What's the name of the character who plays?
Rhodey.
Yeah,
Rhodey. Like again, he actually came around as someone who filled in for Tony Stark. He started as Iron Man in the comic books, literal Iron Man.
Yeah. And Tony Stark's best friend.
Introduced back in, he became War Machine. But he did kind of create an original character there that, it's still a version of Iron Man, but it's not.
Correct.
Yeah.
And also,
it's Black Iron Man.
Pretty much. And not only that, you got to look at it in this way, and he's like a sidekick.
Yeah.
Same thing can be said for Falcon, too. I mean, even though Falcon is still somewhat of an original character, he started off as like, the Bucky to Captain America, and
the on your left guy. The on your left guy from Captain America too.
Comics he didn't, but in like the TV shows and the movies, he did kind of get regulated a little bit.
Yeah, it'd be nice to not have like people of color or people of different descents start off as like derivative versions of what we've already come to know.
Well, one thing I want to ask about that, one of my favorite characters right now is Miss Marvel. At least, like, when she was introduced, she was one of my favorite characters. Now, what do you do about her? Because, she's not the first Miss Marvel. She was she was trying to fill the name gap for
keep it
Carol Danvers, who moved up to Captain Marvel. Is there ever a point where something will be switched around and she'll have to give up that name, and now you have this great character who's now kind of like living in a legacy they might not be able to keep on to?
Very interesting. Interesting question, because when you deal with characters, because originally she was what's her name?
Carol Danvers.
No, you're talking about Carol Danvers, but we're talking about also another person that was in the same level as Carol Danvers.
Yeah. The one that Rogue sucked the powers out of. It was somebody else.
Spectrum.
She just in the recent movies.
Yeah, Monica Rambeau.
And thank you guys. But just to answer your question, Carol Danvers is already known as Miss Marvel.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
Technically.
But yeah. Captain Marvel character, and I think the point you were trying to get at was what's her name again? Rambeau?
Yeah, Monica Rambeau.
Well, not Rambeau, like,
yeah. More of a French Creole Rambeau.
God damn, too many captains too. Started off as Captain Marvel, and then when they brought the original Captain Marvel back, she had to like take some other name and it didn't stick, and then she took another name and didn't stick, and then used her real name and it didn't stick, and then she went back to another name. So again, that's why I actually think about what happens when you build a character off another brand and move them away from that brand.
Right. And you just got to figure out what will make her separate from the original character. What, and sometimes it's better to create something original so they don't have no affiliation with, being a sidekick or being someone that could be the next, epitome or next person of playing, let's say, Captain America or Captain Marvel. They're their own original character.
Well,
right. And with the Marvels, it kind of helps a little bit that like each Marvel has had like their own unique abilities. Like the powers that Carol Danvers have is not the same powers that Monica Rambeau has, which is not the same powers that Kamala Khan has. That's pretty much Marvel is just more of a title that they've included into themselves.
Right.
I think a bigger issue, a bigger case for it would probably be John Stewart as a Green Lantern, because there's like how many different Green Lanterns that have come from Earth? And unless they change up their outfit a little bit, they're all pretty much Green Lantern.
Right. But he's the well-known one because a lot of people didn't like what's his name, which I was told.
Kyle Rayner was a bit of a dork.
I think
Hal Jordan killed people. Guy Gardner was just annoying.
Wow, is my thing really being... I'll put the mic right up to my face, just like this.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Cool. Hey, it's Wilson from Home
Get
Improvement.
your Vader on.
It's the voice of Darth Vader.
Luke, I am your father.
Just once I want to look upon you with my own eyes.
JT has also sold his voice rights to Disney.
Nice.
Right, Bruce Willis did not sell the rights to his face.
No, he did not. That's true.
Yeah.
So is anything being done to encourage the creation of more original Black characters?
Yes, right now we're trying to basically bring out more comic book African American comic book artists. We're trying to bring African American video game makers, also artists, so they can develop their own and know what's the procedure of developing their own characters. And that's and seeing what will stick. And that's the smart way to do it, because everybody creates their original character. Somebody within the community is going to have that niche. Somebody's going to have that great story to tell that could be a great cartoon, a great video game, a great anime, a great something.
Hopefully
just
not
like
Yasuke, but
a lot of people was tearing that up, but I knew where they was going with it. but I already understand. I understand the backlash on that Netflix.
He fought a mecha. Come on.
Are we talking
for it? Remember, Netflix is coming out with One Piece. That's going to be interesting, and Avatar also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it's nothing like the movie.
You mean the last Airbender? You know.
Yeah.
We all help a lot of things.
Guys working simultaneously to throw one rock. Yeah, that was just, and they almost had 2 movies.
Yeah, they almost did.
We almost got a 4th season of Avatar: Last Airbender, the animation too. We never did. I'm very disappointed by that. But one of the things that they are talking about possibly having an animation for, and they haven't actually as yet, but there has been the occasional talk. Let's go to the mall. Let's see. We got.
Whoa, okay.
Jesus.
Okay,
Oh, Lord, Jesus.
All right.
Oh, Lord.
Before we get basically to the plan I had here. Yeah.
Like they really didn't want a black Ariel, so they went elsewhere.
Yeah, I pulled it. I meant to surprise you guys. I screwed that up. But I meant to surprise you guys with a couple like weird ass cosplay stuff. And that was like the first.
That's a big part of our world. Oof. Boy.
Oh, we're in the parallel universe.
Yeah, well, when your dingle hopper is as big as a spatula.
Tyler says, "Run away."
Yeah, run away. And then of course this one, by the way, I don't even know what the hell that is.
I will rock with that. That's a McDonald clown. That's Ronald McDonald.
That's Thornard McDonald. Yeah.
Thornard McDonald. Yeah.
I will rock with that.
Okay.
What's the hammer? Stick on.
I think it may just be like a box for like a 20 or a 50-piece nugget.
It's stack 'em. Stack them and dunk them. Yeah, it's it's a large chicken McNugget box.
Are you?
Yeah, that's definitely like a 50-piecer. Not that I would know. I'm just saying.
Never got into McDonald's really.
Chucky McDonald's.
Chucky McDonald's.
I need glasses.
But
To me, my nuggets.
Is he going to slam down a Big Mac like he did in the first Thor movie? Another.
No, he grabbed the hammer and it wound up being Captain McBurger. He is worthy.
Well,
I just want to see a Grimace dressed like Loki now, just to like parallel.
Technically, McDonald's exists in the MCU. I saw it again last night. When Chris Pratt's character faces off against Thanos, he refers to him as Grimace. So
yes.
McDonald's exists in the MCU. Credibility to that. Also, if you want to look at the guy in the beard behind him, looking at this dude like, what the fuck am I looking at right now? He's like, what the hell?
He's probably thinking, I've been in the line for this long. I could have had lunch.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe. And now basically the guy's got McDonald's. I'm pissed. So, but what I was going to bring up in this case here, and since we were talking about, live action. Oh yeah, by the way, we had that one too, which I thought was kind of cool. Bring the kids into it.
Little Deathstroke.
No,
this.
Wait, what?
No, don't get excited. Do not get excited about
that. That's obsession with this. I swear to God.
No. Okay, so basically, Masako X, the voice of Goku in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, someone that we've had on the show, phenomenally knowledgeable when it comes to Formula One. It's insane. He actually posted this yesterday, and I found out about it, that there was a rumor circulating for a while that Disney was going to do a CGI or possibly live action Dragon Ball series called New Journey. And it was quickly debunked. Everybody's like, no, it's not actually happening. But it got me thinking last night. Me and Ryan went back and forth on this one a little bit last night. I'm going to predict it right now. Disney owns the legal rights to do a live action Dragon Ball. And I think by the year 2025, we are going to hear some kind of large announcement or filming of another live action Dragon Ball, but done by Disney. I'm calling it right now.
I say no. Yes, like Tyler saying no. No, it's not happening. It can't happen. All right. The amount of rights that Disney has simply because they purchased Fox will not entitle them to be able to do much except a live action film. And even then, Akira Toriyama still has the majority rights to pretty much everything else Dragon Ball. So I would say it's a fair bet that even if Disney attempted to do so, Toriyama's probably going to be like, no, we're fine with animation.
Well, doesn't Toei really have some of the rights, and don't they make deals usually with Disney? So there is a chance.
There is a chance, and the reason I'm saying it is because Disney has their IPs that they have right now. Marvel, they're not getting the profits on Phase 4 that they were hoping for. Disney, people are getting a little tired. Star Wars. People are losing a little bit of energy and passion for Star Wars right now. So there are certain things out there that they're looking at, and I'm pretty sure this rumor was one of them, where they're looking at it and thinking that we have access to do something in the biggest anime on the planet. One Piece has sold more volumes. I get that. I respect that. But basically,
Tyler is hurt.
Yeah.
I broke Tyler.
It's not the same thing. Nothing
okay,
is the same.
Tyler,
it's okay. I'm saying Luffy has never, was. You talk to basically, if I talk to my mother-in-law upstairs right now and I show her Luffy, Kenshin, Bleach, characters from Bleach, and Goku, she will recognize Goku before she will recognize any of the other ones. Disney sees this. They know this. And they know that the 2009 Dragon Ball Evolution did not do well. But I think a lot of people could get hyped for a Disney live-action Dragon Ball. How will it be? I don't know. But I think it's plausible. Go ahead.
Who will be the princess of the Dragon Ball? Will it be Goku or will it be...
Okay, first of all, if there's going to be any princess in DB in the DB, it's going to be Vegeta. All right.
Technically, since Bulma.
Well, no, wait. No, Chi-Chi is it can be construed as a Disney princess because they own the live action rights to Fox. The Ox
She's the
King's
closest thing to
daughter
a
makes
witch
her a
that
princess.
franchise has.
Therefore,
No,
Goku is a prince.
no, Chi-Chi, no.
Unless you have Bulma.
Yeah, Bulma married a prince, therefore she's a princess. Therefore,
but she's a princess. I would think right now, I don't think you can deviate too much. So I know you're talking
Wrong
about
princess, Tyler. Although we will get into that in a second.
I don't think you can make diversity too much on this somewhat. I think, I'll be honest with you, I think if you did not have an Asian Goku, people will riot because this is not like changing certain other things here.
Mm-hmm.
This is hardcore in such a way you cannot change this part of it. Maybe you can work, I'm thinking with some of the other characters out there. You can make, Bulma a minority, I think would be okay there. Chi-Chi possibly as well. I don't know. But I don't think you can mess with Goku too much. You're going to need an Asian character for Goku. But like I said, I think I see it happening because, like I said, they're not getting the numbers that they want from Marvel stuff. They're not getting the numbers really necessarily when it comes to Star Wars stuff. This is an IP they have legal access to. And they have stockholders that are looking at their numbers and saying, okay, what are you pulling off here? I'm saying in 3 years, you're going to hear a live action Dragon Ball from Disney.
And people are going to flip their wig. People going to do backflips that you never seen do backflips before.
I think it will. They're going to obviously take from what happened with the first one, and they're going to basically listen to Akira Toriyama probably a little bit more. Because in the original Evolution, they didn't. But in this one, they're going to look at that. They're going to try and keep an origin story where they can make something in the woods like that. I think it's possible.
Nice.
JT, you were saying something? JT, come on. JT?
I said something. Can you hear me?
Yes, when you talk directly into the mic, you can.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, I can.
Right.
See, JT, this is what happens when you've been gone for the show for so long, man. We miss you.
I want to know why you can't hear me. You should be able to hear me.
Now I can't hear you.
Now. Yay, nay, hey.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
I think
got it the day season 3 came out.
Well, I just watched that this weekend. God, that show, season 5, I just watched. I was not happy with it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you had some problems with Cobra Kai season 5.
Yeah, I felt like I was watching like You remember like those shows that would air for an hour on Fox or Channel 9 on a Saturday afternoon back in like the late 90s, early
Like
2000s?
the old Xena, Hercules sort of stuff,
Hercules,
like back in the
Star
syndication
Trek,
era.
Team Knight Rider.
By the way, you're a little muffled right now, or is that just me?
We're lucky we're hearing him. All right, come on, don't mess with the man.
How are you not hearing me? This is ridiculous.
Well, no. He's saying he can hear you, but it kind of sounds like we're talking to you via the helicopter CB, as it hits the next.
Something like this. So.
Now, I'm going to figure this out because this is annoying me now. Should hear me perfectly.
Sure, so, okay.
Our
so
de facto tech guy, and we've gone ahead and giving him like a conundrum.
I know, he's not a happy camper at the moment. So we'll come back to that. All right, while he's working on that, I do have a story of my own. I mentioned beforehand, I was going to talk to you guys about this. I was on set for 3 days, basically starting on the 22nd of last month, and then ending on a week ago today. And it was a film set that I'm not going to mention the name. I mentioned it to you guys prior. But what I found interesting is the third day we had an overnight shoot that we had to do in New York City. And per union rules, and I'm not a massive stickler on union rules. I'm not that guy. But they require to have some degree of chairs for people to sit down on, and basically a chance to go every 2 hours to go take a leak if you need to. This production never did any of that. They did none of that stuff. They never fed people. They never, they avoided that. They did. It was cold. Lunch was actually cold food, and they didn't give chairs to people, so they were on their feet from 11 o'clock at night straight through 6 o'clock in the morning, straight all the way through, including a 75-year-old guy with scoliosis leaning on his cane. So imagine this scenario here. You have this commercial. You have this company that's handling this stuff. They're legally required to at least give an option for people to sit down. And they did none of that, including a guy in his mid-70s who was already hunched over and leaning on his cane because he was in pain. Now, they got a chair for him, because I went directly and bitched to production about it. I'm like, dude, you got this guy over here on a scale from 1 to 10. How much of a dick move this is right now? And they're like, it's a 10. Good. 5 minutes later, the dude had a chair. He had a chair. The other 60-year-olds and everybody else there, no goddamn chair. And again, for me, my feet were sore and it hurt me for about 3 or 4 days afterwards. But I'm not a hardcore stickler. But when you got somebody that you booked that's in their mid-70s, has medical issues, and is leaning and walking on a cane and leaning on it, come on, give the guy a fucking flat chair.
And that's the condition of every fanboy that's going to be at Comic-Con this weekend when they're in line.
The only difference is they're all in their 20s or younger, maybe a little older.
You'd be surprised, but
yeah, you're not going to find a 75-year-old guy with scoliosis there.
I mean, I would hope.
Well, Stan Lee's day more, but
yeah. Well, I mean, that was Stan Lee. I mean, he had chairs up the wazoo. He could get a chair.
And not only that, he had bodyguards. He had escorts. He
probably brought his own.
Yeah, he might have. Sometimes they actually do that because they have something that's medically ergonomic to them. But it surprised me a little bit.
I mean, that is a shame, and hopefully he's not suffering to this day from that, because I know that's the kind of stuff that can linger.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Like I said, for me personally, my left knee hurt until Sunday, and I got back at the house on Wednesday night and Wednesday morning about 10 o'clock in the morning, and from that day till Sunday, and I'm never really ever physically in pain ever. I was in pain in my left knee for 4 days straight, and it surprised me because I'm not used to actually having pain, and to have it for that long, I can only imagine what everybody else was dealing with, and it was a shame. It really irked the shit out of me on that.
I think that's the reason why I don't want to be a part of the film industry anymore, at least to that level. Just because I don't think I could. It just doesn't feel like anyone takes care of anyone within the film industry. It's like, you're there, we'll see you for a few weeks, and then you go away, and I'll never hear about you again. I don't care that you almost burned to death in a building. I don't care that you almost froze to death on a winter night. I don't care you almost got shot in the Bronx. I'm making a film here, damn it. You're lucky to be a part of my art.
That's why paperwork gets signed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unfortunately, I would have to play devil's advocate in this sense. I mean, yes, I do feel for the guy, but I'm imagining this probably isn't that gentleman's first rodeo either. If this was his very first time ever on set, then I could see it being like, oh, I didn't expect this. But I mean, I would want to imagine someone at that age, they've probably been doing it for years and many times before, probably even worse than that situation itself.
But the thing in this case here is that the company had a legal signed requirement to offer it. They signed a contract and it's in the contract. You have to offer this kind of stuff. And they ignored that. So that's part of it also. Like I said, when it comes to the food, lunch being cold and things like that, cold beef cubes, fine. Screw it. I don't care. Okay, some people were. But in this case here, it wasn't bad. Like I said, room temperature. But in this case here, the company has a legal signed contract with the Screen Actors Guild saying you have to provide this. And they didn't. And this dude was in pain. We all were in pain. But this dude especially. Because again, he was hunched over. His back was like this the entire shoot. And he was leaning on that cane the entire time. And nothing was done.
Burnsy.
Yeah, but a far nicer personality. A little more talkative too, but it just kind of sucked because it's like, dude, you signed a contract. You're supposed to provide this, and you're just like, no, let him be in pain. We'll find more old people.
Well, I remember there was a tire company that found out they have a defective tire, discovered, well, it will cost us more to replace all the tires than the lawsuits we'd probably receive. So we'll just let them die and take the lawsuit.
Exactly.
Some people, if they can get away with it, they'll do it.
Yeah.
And that's it's a very Warner Brothers / Discovery Plus mentality where
exactly.
The larger company has to go ahead and weigh out its options.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, one actor or background actor or whatever doesn't amount to,
a hill of beans in this world. But this
basically,
is our hill.
I
These
didn't
are
want to sound like too trite, but that would be it.
But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I'm not going to be that guy who gets pissed off at stuff like this. I know some people that do, and I know I've reached a couple of benefits when they bitch enough. But there was one guy the day before who bitched hardcore about you guys have to legally do this, and he brought the union rep in, and the union rep changed some things and adjusted some things, and then curiously enough, they didn't need him the next night. The guy that happened to call and brought in like the big rep, and like this, he brought in the union rep. That's okay. You're going to give them this, and this. No, okay. You're going to give them this, and this. Do you want to keep going? And he gets what he gets the stuff, and it's maybe part of the reason why they cheaped out the next night is because they knew that nobody was going to come after them for a second night in a row. I don't know, but like I said, it just sucked for that guy. And it was Manhattan concrete, and that's pretty friggin' unforgiving and uncomfortable shoes to begin with. And some people, some women were healed.
We live in an industry where the squeaky wheel gets the grease until the wheel is replaceable.
And until the wheel squeaks too much and you get a new wheel, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, like I said,
there's always going to be more wheels in New York.
In New York, there's a lot of wheels. But I've got something set up for Friday. I got to be in Newark, New Jersey at 6 o'clock in the morning, possibly earlier. So if I get killed, they're like, it's we have more. We have more pasty, chubby white people. We can find us more.
Stop. Where are you going now? Are you going to the Bronx?
No, not this time.
No, just good old Newark.
When I had the playoff game for NYCFC last year, I was covering that game. Someone actually at Yankee Stadium got shot. We were at the game. We found that afterwards. Like, why are the only ambulance here? Yeah, some dude got shot in the hand.
Whoops.
And I was like, oh, God. So, how do we feel this time of year? But anyway, did you want to gripe about Cobra Season 5?
Sure, why not?
There you go. You had to think about that a little bit.
So I'm really going back to something that debuted 2 months ago. And I'm
Ladies and gentlemen, I know JT hasn't been on the show for a while, but trust me, when JT gets on a roll, it'll be funny.
Exactly.
Can you actually hear me this time?
Yes. Just in time for the good stuff.
Oh, well, I got it on my system 2 days ago. Let me see if I can remember what this rant was all about. I think first thing was, and I was starting to say this, was it reminded me of like a 90s cheap ass show. Like, you remember the last few seasons where they actually were on set? They were on they were places. They were at a car dealership. You saw the cars. You were driving around, blah blah blah. This season, it's like, here's the arch nemesis, the arch enemies dojo. It's just freaking like purple lights and shit all over the place. It's like, we're not really gonna decorate it. It's like, you could have just, it could have been the smoothie bar from Angel Grove, just with some purple lights.
I was going to say that. It sounds like you're referring to the old school Power Rangers when they first debuted.
Well, he said Angel Grove, yeah.
Yeah, it looked just like the smoothie center that they used to go to, but with some
Okay, so we
darker.
have 5 teams with attitude. Who do we have? Robbie, we got Hawk, attitudes.
His office, Silver's office too, was just like, there's nothing in his office. It's just big walls, big walls, big walls. And I'm colorblind. Was it blue lighting or purple lighting? Because I just saw a whole bunch of lighting. Like someone said, hey, here's the budget for the set design. And they went, okay, and went and bought a whole bunch of LED lights and set them across the floor. Like, light, light, light.
well, they needed the money for all the things that were going to get smashed in Silver's house. So
yes,
they didn't have anything in Silver's house. You saying at Silver's house, it's the same thing. Light, light, light. I'm looking in the background.
Artifact.
Curtains around with lights bouncing off of it. I'm like, this looks like something I would make, and I don't have it. And then, like, you remember how the last season ended? It was like, Johnny's got to go find Miguel, and he's going to take Robbie with him, and they're going to go save Miguel. And I'm like, oh, good. Get Johnny away from everyone else, put him in his own little storyline, put Miguel in his own little storyline, and have Robbie there. They'll have a big arc together where they fight, but then they realize they don't have their differences, and they'll make up, and they'll become best friends, and they'll fight the evil Hector, and that could be like most of the season. They'll be there. That's story B, and then story A is what's going on in the valley. It was 2 episodes. Hector was nothing. And then, like they said, they had a 1,000-mile drive. So these 2 enemies, Miguel and Robbie, are in a car together for 1,000 miles. I mean, you could make 3 road trip episodes.
But still, yeah.
And instead, it's just like, Miguel's there. Miguel hugs Johnny. Miguel sees Robbie. Miguel's not happy with this. Next episode, they're home.
That's why you have bathroom breaks. Yeah.
They didn't talk much for that ride. It's like they had a day in a car. You're telling me they were just stone silent for a day? Those 2? It's like,
dude, the scenery is beautiful.
Well, I guess they're never going to forgive themselves. You just had your opportunity. They're going to be enemies forever. And then a few episodes later, it's like, you guys are going to duke it out until you forgive each other. And then there's a 1-minute fight scene that goes to a balcony, and they stop like, dude, I don't hate you that much. You're right, man. I don't hate you that much, too. I'm sorry. Best friends. Besties for life. Ah!
All right, so let me ask you this. I see your point down there, and I'll give that to you. My question to you in this case here is the way the whole. I guess we're going to spoil this in this.
Mm-hmm. And we lost his feed.
No! You broke him, JT. You broke him.
I broke him. I broke reality around his house. He's just stuck in time. He's trying to come back with what he's going to talk about.
This is how GT takes over the show. It's like, I've slowly worked myself in. I see your plan.
I don't know how you fix this.
This is how you end everything.
Hi, Scott.
Hi. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. So, I swear this never happens to me as much anymore. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So back to my question, if I can remember what it was. the storyline felt very, very much like it pretty much wrapped up its series. And they're going to do another season on this. I'm presuming basically Miguel's father is going to be in the picture, and the working theory is, and this is what I'm hearing from like Cobra Kai theory, is that Terry Silver is already dying of an illness from the beginning. That's why he's talking about legacy. John Kreese will die to protect Johnny. And then they're going to have to fight Miguel as the big baddie for season 6. That's what I'm hearing, the theories being.
Well, they should have fucked up Hector in season 5.
Well, I think they used that.
Even when they walked away from him, he was like, well, I'm not really part of this anymore. I just have a lot of money.
I liked it.
They're going to have their tournament arc. They're going to have to find some other... It's going to be like a Mighty Ducks spinoff.
That's the other thing. You set up a tournament arc, and then 2 episodes later, it's like, hey, the guy who's running the enemy camp is gone. And the other guy who ran the enemy camp can't run the enemy camp because he's a fugitive from the law. So you have this, the only other person, I can't remember her name, Silver's right-hand woman.
The descendant of the person that taught them.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't really care about her character. She was just introduced this season. She was so to me. She doesn't seem like she could be taking the place of the big bad. Just like, you set everything up for me not to care.
Well, that's the other thing about it. That's the one thing I will say is that Cobra Kai's reputation, not the show, but the actual dojo's reputation. First it was Johnny, then Johnny and Kreese, then Kreese and Robbie, then, Johnny, Kreese, Robbie, and then then it was Kreese and whatever her name was. Now, I'm sorry, Silver and whatever, you know what I meant. And it was one of those things that they keep having a turnover in management. And as someone who's paying money into a dojo, you kind of have a couple of concerns here. They did address that in the latest seasons. Like, well, I know we've had some problems in this case here. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're pretty much going to have to come out with that, And now it's like, oh, yeah, the guy who wanted to be in, he lied under oath. That dude's actually didn't do it. The guy we trusted did it, who basically turns out paid off, the judges. And it's like, I almost think that a lot of the Cobra Kai are just going to join Eagle Do or, Miyagi Fang or whatever they're going to call it. And just be like, all right, we want to compete. And you're just going to have this gigantic conglomerate of 3 JoJo's in one for the Seikai Takai.
Best of the best.
So you see, we don't have a name, so we just decided
Robert's making an appearance.
Cobra Kai. And then, circle, but Daniel runs Cobra Kai.
Look, again, playing devil's advocate. That almost plays into the benefit of what Cobra Kai is. Cobra Kai is not the sensei. Cobra Kai is not necessarily the branding on the gis. It's the mentality. It's kind of like the dark side of the force. It doesn't matter who's running the building. It's a matter of the people and how their minds are warped by these teachings, by this instruction, by this mentality that has been instilled for generations. It's like the ultimate good versus evil concept. It's like, does Miyagi-Do stand a chance against this force of nature, which pretty much slaps the face of everything that Mr. Miyagi and his family have tried to harness?
Yeah. Now, in this case, go ahead.
I guess the other thing I just also want to say, because one other complaints, and this isn't just season 5, this is just the escalation, I think, of the series as a whole. Because when it started back, it was a simple little thing, like it was just Johnny, and he once started karate dojo, and Daniel was just against it because of obvious reasons. And for the first 2 seasons, it's like, I totally understand this. I totally get this. And just every season, it's like, now there's a gang war. Now there's warring fractions. Now there's people coming over from other countries to fight. It went from like, hey, this is Degrassi with karate, to a 1980s karate movie where they had a sword
and with like the charge into like Endgame or Infinity War, But okay,
someone's home and have like a big out karate battle.
The one thing I will say that really pissed me off about season 4 is the fact that season 3 was set up that, okay, Johnny and
he's gone again.
No.
He had to do that to pull Dayveonne away from the phone, so. Don't act like I didn't see the screen on your face.
I was just looking at Cobra Kai.
Of course you were. JT, you can stop.
Okay.
All right. Look, the fact of the matter is, it's got Netflix money, so it's gonna spend the Netflix money. That's all we know.
Okay, for the record, I can 100% see you guys and heard you guys, and basically, JT sitting there being like, and it's like, okay, you can stop. Okay, I saw all that. I don't know what the fuck is that. Yeah. Anyway, all right. I'm gonna make this quick as possible. One of the things about season 4 that really kind of pissed me off was the fact that basically, Johnny and Daniel were kind of set up to finally become friends, and then they kind of, they started a bond, sort of thing like that, and then they fell apart, the whole thing, and then they reconnected at the end of season 4. I was getting tired of that will they, won't they kind of bromance thing. Season 5 finally got that shit right, and that was a nice thing. I think finally it took 5 freaking seasons for them to get along, and I'm happy that they finally did. I've been waiting for this from like season 1. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. So
we're ordering a booster, by the way.
One thing I'm going to say is I'm glad that they finally stopped the drama between Johnny and Daniel, between Miguel and Robbie, and between Tori and Sam. But it was like Daniel and Johnny made the most sense. The other two were just kind of, I feel, rushed a bit. And it's like, I'm glad you got there, but you should have done it better. It's just like very bad storytelling, in my opinion. And I'm not attacking the cheese of it. I'm just attacking, like, you could have told this still better.
All right.
Someone's got a phone call.
I don't know. I almost think season 6 is going to call it here. They said season 6 is going to be done, and there may be some spinoffs, which I don't know how that's going to work if you start, milking that teat on that. But I don't know. I think one more season we'll call it. They'll do 15 episodes, probably like they're going to do like Stranger Things season 4. And, I think at this point they'll have like a break like Stranger Things did, and then one massive 2-hour finale at the end. D, I saw the message. You got to go. That's fine. Bail. We're going to be done in a couple minutes anyway. But
adios, sir.
See you at Comic-Con Thursday.
Yeah.
9:15 to 10:15. You said every single night you got your panel, The Future is Black?
No, just Saturday
night.
Just Saturday. Okay. So Saturday.
He'll be at Comic-Con throughout the entire weekend.
Yes,
so if you see Dayveonne in any kind of cosplay or whatever, take a picture with him, ask him for his autograph, go ahead and find out whatever.
Give him your phone number if you're hot, whatever.
Him.
All right, thank you guys.
The internet issues.
See you next
week.
Yes,
I want that too.
See y'all next week.
Okay.
Yes, certainly next week we'll have a big old rundown from Dayveonne.
Yes. Okay, Steph.
Wow.
Fuck out of here. All right. So basically, in this case, let me see what I can do. Let me close that out for a moment.
Just a simple.
Okay, so one of the things basically in this case, I think, Steph, you wanted me to talk a little bit faster. So I can talk a little bit faster if you want me to. When it comes to Cobra Kai Season 6, I think right now, basically, they're going to have to finish things off. They felt like a little bit with Season 5 that they really kind of wrapped everything up in nice little tiny little, well, okay, John Kreese escaped and everything like that. He's a fugitive of the law. You got Miguel's father, Hector, he's going to be out there. We're going to find out what's going to happen with that. But I think in this case, it almost felt like basically they're going to end the series in Season 5. They could have actually done that. But now in this case, going to Season 6, I'm not really sure what they're going to do. I mean, they're going to do all this kind of stuff. I think it's going to be, like I said, a longer season. It's going to be like maybe 15 episodes instead of 10. They're going to break it up a little bit like they did with Stranger Things Season 4, where you're going to have, like, say, the first 10 episodes, and then the last five are going to be super mega episodes in there. They're going to be an hour each. They're going to be 2 hours each. They're going to be really, really, really long. They're going to wrap this thing up in a giant, nice little bow there. Like I said, I think Terry Silver is going to die of an illness. I think John Kreese is going to die actually protecting Johnny Lawrence, who is basically a surrogate son. And then they're going to basically, I think in this case, Johnny's going to get married to Carmen. Daniel's going to be his best man. I think that's the way that basically Season 6 is going to wrap up. The series is going to wrap up, and then we can call it on that series. And I am done and out of breath. Okay, can you clip that one and run that at double speed? you wanted me to record something to go to double speed. I just gave you what I could there.
Hold on, I'm 100% about to be a few minutes behind.
By the way, I just want to point out, in general, that is kind of how fast my brain works. So this talking like this has taken me years to learn because I had to train myself to talk like I'm giving directions to somebody's house. But up there, this is usually how fast, like I said, the brain kind of runs. So it is very, very all over the place, very, very scattered. And yeah. Anyway, so yes, we're going to try and clip that. I think I might clip that, actually, legit. See what I can do there. People are going to actually think that I edited it, but I didn't. Anyway, gentlemen, I figure we'll wrap this up. You got any final thoughts?
Bunnies. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm good.
There was a lot I wanted to talk Comic-Con wise, but I suppose
you
we'll
know,
probably hold off on that until next week once we actually get
listen,
Dayveonne's report.
We're not locked into, anything specific as far as time goes. If you got stuff you want to go into, we'll go back to that there. Yeah, I'm sorry. I did not give you the time on that. I'm sorry. That's on me. Sir, the floor is yours.
No.
I got the time.
No. I'm holding him to the fire on this because that way we can do it next week with Dayveonne's reports. Let us know what he saw. Let us know what he experienced, and then we'll be able to talk about any of the stuff that come out this past weekend, whether it be anything from Marvel and Deadpool, Logan related, anything Fantastic Four related, anything DC related. Considering we don't know what's being canceled and what's not. Certainly, there's a lot of stuff sci-fi wise that's going to be coming up as far as the new stuff for Star Wars, Andor, and the progress that it's making. Hopefully, we'll get more on the Acolyte. As far as fantasy is concerned, certainly more D&D is going to come up. It's currently dying. And there's so much more to come with. Anime wise, friggin' Bleach is premiering this weekend. You're getting Chainsaw Man finally premiering this weekend, so plenty of stuff about those reviews, and really also horror stuff too, because we are in October and there is going to be a lot of creepy stuff coming out. I've seen Hocus Pocus 2. I want to see the monsters just for the lulz. So next week is going to be very, I think, news oriented, whereas today it was just nice to have JT back. It was nice to have Dayveonne go ahead and promote his seminar, which if you are going to Comic-Con, go ahead and see it. Plop down there. Tell him we said hi, since we are all going to be too bored or too busy to be there. Well, I mean, I'll be too busy. I don't know about anybody else.
I'm neither. I'm just afraid to go to that thing.
Okay, so I mean that's middle of the ground. But
I will say also, since you mentioned horror, we do have the horror charity event on October 29th, where Chicken Shit Scott over here, alongside Ryan, who's far better at that than this, who's for one movie, plus JD and and Obi will basically be sitting through 3 horror films. We are doing Evil Dead 2013. We are doing Sinister, and something else too. I can't remember what it was.
Hellraiser, which is the whole purpose of the name of the thing. The Hellraiser fundraiser.
Well, we are doing this. 100% of the proceeds are going to a charity organization called From We Can't to We Can, which creates after-school programs and developmental programs for kids with developmental disabilities. So if you like horror and you like watching cowards get freaked out over horror, raising my hand on this one. Oh, you're going to love this. All the proceeds are going to be going 100% to them. We're not making a dime on this. And kind of excited, kind of terrified. And if we raise enough money, I'm considering eating a Carolina Reaper on camera. We'll see how that works out. Or possibly a hot chip. I haven't decided yet, but we're working that one out.
Hey, I had to do Flaming Hot Cheetos. You can do a Carolina Reaper.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think there's a big difference.
We're gonna save One Piece on that. Steph is plowing through One Piece at ungodly pace, by the way. So we'll talk about that. We're going to do like a supersized, New York Comic Con. That's probably going to be tied into that next week. Ryan, real quick, yes or no? I'm not going to say anything on this one. Did you see Clerks 3 yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
It's not playing anywhere.
I know.
It played for a week and then disappeared.
Supposedly playing in New York Comic Con. So.
Not even. Well, yeah, of course I'll be playing Comic Con because Kevin Smith at Comic Con is like a fat man at a cake. It's just always going to be there.
Can I point out how many connections we have back to the man? Maybe not directly, but back to him, and we can't get into the showing.
Well, I didn't try, but I mean, yeah, between like Chris Cullen, between Brian, Ernie O'Donnell, and
I won't name we know people.
Condolences to Scott Giaffa, by the way.
We're like that one branch of the family that no one invites to the picnic for reasons.
Them? No. This is a classy affair. Clerks 3.
Don't post anything on Facebook, otherwise they'll know what's happening.
So
I'm terrible.
all right. Are we good?
That's Jersey for you. We're the bastard children.
Exactly. We hate you too. So all right, gents. Thanks as always. I appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, New York Comic Con next week, horror event on the 29th, and She-Hulk episode, whatever you're doing on Thursday.
If you would like me to do She-Hulk, there is episode 8, the penultimate episode for the season, coming up this Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if we are doing it. I don't know if you'd want me to do anything Wednesday as far as Andor, but there's also that.
Yes.
What you think?
I started One Piece Season 1 episode in May of this year. I'm about to hit episode 900 before today is over.
Yep.
Goddamn.
And there's still 100 plus episodes left after that.
No,
but she's 85% of the way through this thing.
I admit, 10, 12 years ago, I got into One Piece, and I read 600 chapters in 2 weeks. So I know it can be done, but with all the filler that TV show has, if you're not skipping all that filler, I applaud you. This is not even sarcasm. I applaud you.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on how you're approaching it.
Funny thing, she actually watches the dub because she hates Luffy's voice, which means she also hates Krillin's voice and that, which, okay, I can accept that.
You see, instead you read the manga, and then you could pick your own voice for the characters.
As long as it's not 4 kids, where basically, Sanji is constantly eating, having a lollipop.
She was beat up forever, so we can't ever see her again. I don't know. It looks like she died. I said she was beat up forever.
Exactly. Yeah, we never actually got her out of that dungeon there. That's okay. Nami, it's okay. Leave your sister. She can just enjoy her life like that. It's kind of like the big green.
I think I brought this up on the episode, but episode 3 or 4 goes into I don't know if we call him Zolo or Zoro, but goes into his background and how he grew up, and he had this rival, and she in the comic she dies.
Yes,
but if you watch the 4 kids version, it's some kids beat her up and she can never sword fight again. Also, you can never see her again, and we will never talk about her ever again. It's that doesn't sound right.
And by the way, it wasn't Nami's sister; it was Nami's mom that they were killed. That was killed. But okay, you're into sub only. Sorry about your loss for your Luffy loss. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. JT, welcome back, man. Missed you. Thank you. Ryan, thank you as always. Appreciate it. Dayveonne, like I said, one more time, 9:15 Saturday night, New York Comic Con. The future is black. He's on the panel, so ask him whatever questions you got. Feel free to take pictures with him. He'll sign autographs, he'll sign boobs, whatever basically you want him to do within more or less legal reasons. He's cool for it.
And apparently Scott's his pimp, so yeah, go ahead.
No. I'm human relations management.
And that's what you call yourself when you don't have the funny hat. Yeah.
Exactly. No, I still have the bunny hat. So,
you know what anyway. Says meow.
So, all right. Have a good one, guys. Take care.